Welcome to Feminine Power Time. Turn off the chatter and tune in to what matters. This is where we reimagine the way we and the world work from the inside out by marrying together wisdom, well-being, and leadership. My name is Christina Rilo, and I am the founder of Feminine Power Time and your host today for this very special episode, which is one of our Power Pause episodes. Power Pauses are like personal leadership illumination retreats that we take to take a step back on the quarter points of the year, the equinox and the solstices, to gain some perspective and some wisdom, where we look back at where we've been, where we stop and pause and see where we are right now, and where we also look forward to say, how do we want to focus in this next quarter or in this next 6 months of the year? And so we are taping this at the March equinox, but whenever you listen to it, it will be absolutely relevant. And I'm going to depart a little bit from what I normally do on the equinoxes. The equinoxes are all about reharmonizing and rebalancing. They're a moment to pause and see what you've already been through and accomplished this first 3 months of the year, or in the case of September equinox, the first 9 months of the year. And they're also a time to stop and look at where the imbalances might be and what is wanting to come into more harmony, or where you're wanting to put your energy and time to. And then they're also a time of saying, okay, if this is where I'm standing right now, so here we are in the spring equinox of the northern hemisphere and the fall equinox of the southern hemisphere, which is why we use the months when we're talking about it so that it relates to whatever season is where you might be living. We're all on one planet and we're all working within a calendar year, which is why we pause and say, okay, 3 months in to the linear calendar year, where are we? And so what I realized is that what we needed this year, it's different every year, but the system and the structure is the same. As I've already done a ton of amazing podcasts that are part of what we normally do at March equinox, which are full of inquiries that can really help you tune into where the imbalances are and help you rebalance those to help you get really clear on where you want to focus at a very tangible level. But I've already done those, and there's probably 5 or 6 or 7 of those, and those sit in, some of you may not know this, that there's actually a library that I have created over 9 years of episodes to make it easy for you to go back and find episodes that are still completely relevant. And if you go to the Feminine Power Time podcast page, which is femininepowertime.com, and I'll put this in the show notes, you can access the library there that has a series library. And if you just click on the button that says series, that'll take you to some popular series. And at the bottom of the page, it has all of the power pauses from the different quarter points that we pause on. And you can access that. And if you want to focus on any of those like specific inquiries, go ahead and listen to those. And I'll also put a link to those in the show note. But as I've been having conversations with the women in my life and the men in my life and the humans in my life who are doing their best to stay centered and sustained in these wavy, gravy times, I realized that I needed to share with you some inquiries that were given to me by one of my teachers. I have had the pleasure and really I'm extremely grateful that I found my teachers, and I'm going to call them my whole human teachers. Some people call them their spiritual teachers, but I'm really, the more and more I think about is we have to stop, and this isn't just my teaching, this is the wisdom teaching, is this piece of like, oh, they're my spiritual teachers or this teacher. Like, we're whole people who part of the reason we are in the reality that the society on this planet currently is that we have become a very off-balance society where the intellect and the logic, the material and the physical, I mean, we've been talking about this forever. We just went through this in the podcast on what are your wise eyes watching, the last podcast. So we're going to change the language up and say, actually, my teachers, who I would call my whole person teachers, people who have helped me reconnect to soul and what is real and find body, mind, heart, and spirit, my integrated, elevated self. And I have 2 primary teachers, both women, and one in the earth wisdom tradition and one in the sacred feminine and Mayan wisdom tradition. And Pele is my Earth Wisdom teacher, and she's actually going to be here with us. She's going to complete season 9 with us and actually be the prelude and precursor for opening up season 10. And I've been hinting a little bit at what's coming in season 10, and I won't say a lot about it other than to share that part of what is the output is part of these inquiries that I've been in since June solstice of last year, when I was at a solstice retreat with Pele and this community of people that I've been part of for 20